Mom, we're on YouTube and on Lonely, an X, formerly called Twitter, and whatever else you're listening to us. Hello, everyone. I'm Joao. I'm here co-hosting with Shaheen. Say hi, Shaheen.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. So today we're gonna get to know Peeps in this episode of I Build, Therefore I Am. Peeps is a very interesting case of Cartesi. They are a group that was formed in our Cartesi masterclass in Lagos, Nigeria, and they have an amazing tool. They actually were one of the winners of our masterclass. And as we have three guests here, I'm actually gonna let them introduce themselves, right? So everyone, tell us about yourselves.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Mayowa and I'm a software engineer with a background in Web2 before transitioning to Web3. And since then, I've been in this space actively building the apps on different chains, even on Cartesi, and also building Peeps. So that's that about me. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So my name is Emefiele Amorin, but my nickname is Konis J. Most people call me Konis J. Aside from tech, I'm a electrical engineer. Yeah, I schooled in Unilag, and my current role is front-end development and also smart contract developer. I work for different startups. And currently, for this occasion, I'm the backend developer for Peeps. So I'm really happy to be here.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Mitong, and I think I have a very interesting profile here. Outside the software engineering and development, I'm also a lawyer. So yeah, from background in law, and I think I started my software journey about sometime in 2021. So yeah, it has been great ever since. So just mixing both of them, both the law and the tech.
Yeah, this is actually pretty unique. I actually worked on a law startup back then, and I know that it's kind of crazy when you put together law and tech. How was exactly this encounter? How did you actually migrate between one to the other?
I don't think I would say I migrated. It was quite just an interesting sort of like pursuing passion. I think I've always been passionate about the technology, even though I studied law. I became a lawyer. But it was just like in the past time, while you are less busy, you just start learning how to do JavaScript, learning this, learning just the basics, and that's how it started. And now fully I'm in the blockchain space. I'm in Web3, and it's sort of like a rabbit hole experience. Just keeps on going down the rabbit hole. The more you see, the more you want to learn, and that's been my own experience.
This is cool, man.
This, yeah, this is super amazing. So Mitong is like reading and writing, analyzing legal contracts to writing digital smart contracts.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, welcome to this podcast. And Mayowa, J, you as well. Like, how did you guys end up in Web3? How was this transition from your previous career, or how did you guys hear about Web3? What was that first initial moment? Starting from Mayowa, maybe.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Okay, so my transition to Web3 was a quite unique one. I was in the Web2 space and I've been there for more than 2-3 years. So, but then I kept hearing about Web3, I kept hearing about blockchain, and as a curious person, I was curious to know what Web3 was all about, right? I kept hearing about Web3, you hear about blockchain, you hear about crypto, and then you are building apps in decentralized building, decentralized dApps and apps applications, and you're like, okay, what is this? So I was curious to know. Around May 2023, and then I heard from a colleague then that there's a place where I can learn about Web3, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go learn about Web3 there. So, and that was why I got into the Web3 space. And entering into the Web3 space, I enrolled into a school in Lagos, Nigeria, a Web3 school in Lagos, Nigeria, where I did a course about Web3. That was where I got to learn about practical, the programming, everything about the blockchain, everything about, and that was how I got into Web3. And since then, it has been a wonderful experience. It has been like moving from a place where you're comfortable to a place where you're feeling much more comfortable. That's how it has been.
Super, super interesting. What about you, J?
Yeah. For me, the journey into Web3 started some time ago, let's say in 2022. Now that's some time in the Web2 space as a front-end developer. I'm active on Twitter, and I started hearing a lot about Web3, the accounts that I was following, especially my mentors were transitioning into Web3 and they were talking about it, and it was, trending at the time. So, and I wanted to be among that. I wanted to be there, but I didn't really know much about what Web3 was, what the blockchain was, and all. So I was actually very inquisitive about it. Then I started to look at some videos and some channels, hearing about it, but it was not enough. So I thought about it, how was I going to join? So I realized that maybe I needed to join a community. And then while I was on Twitter, I discovered Web3 Bridge, but I did not engage because even though they were in my state at the time, it was very easy for me to go there. But then I didn't go because I wasn't sure it was legit at the time, because many people that I'm talking about that I said we're talking about it were not Nigerians at the time. So I was like, oh, I don't know if it's for real. And after some months, I met a friend that finished from Web3 Bridge. And then he told me about it. And I'm like, wow, you went to Web3 Bridge. I'm like, I saw it online, but I don't know. I didn't see it, or it didn't interest me at the time. And I was like, you need to actually go there if you want to go and learn more about the blockchain. And I'm like, okay, I need to be there. Then I joined, for 4 months. I'm not going to lie, Web3 Bridge is one of the best places that you need to go if you want to learn about Web3, blockchain, DeFi, and all, because the way they kind of drill you, honestly, it's like a camp for developers on site. So they tell you everything. It's like you come today, then you don't like you forget about what you did yesterday. You're telling you about something today. So it was an awesome experience. I really enjoyed myself. So After Web3 Bridge, it has been awesome because I've been able to contribute to different projects. I've, worked on different smart contracts, different projects in general for Web3. So it's been an awesome journey. Awesome journey. Thank you.
It's so cool, man, because Web3 Bridge being our partners in the Nigeria Masterclass, which was the first masterclass we did, it's always good to know that they are actually doing a good job, like getting people to the space, to the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it must be like an adventure starting from zero to starting this whole journey of writing smart contracts, maybe starting from Ethereum, and then you tackle more sort of complex stuff and jump into, say, Cartesi kind of environments, and then you learn even more complex stuff. So it's seems like a very nice and crazy adventure for you guys. So how is Web3 Bridge again, really playing a really crucial role in helping people learn and build skills in Web3? How do you see like this whole role of these communities, these partners, or these let's say learning platforms in Africa, and how they have shaped you into what you have become today? Maybe Mitong, if you want to answer that.
Okay, Web3 Bridge in particular, not just Web3 Bridge, there are lots of great communities in Africa. You have likes of Web3 Bridge, you have likes of IRA, you have likes of Web3 Africa, and quite a number of them. Even one we just had one locally here in Jaws, we call it It's Jaws. All of these communities, I think for the growth of Web3 in Africa, one thing that has been pivotal is communities. Through the communities, that's how people grow. So you see communities like Web3 Ladies, Web3 Bridge, and through the programs that they do. Yeah, Web3 Bridge is on the front line of most of the technical or engineering training that we see in Africa, because most of the core engineers that you see across the continent, a lot of them have one way or the other connected with Web3 Bridge. And Web3 Bridge just keeps on advancing the frontiers in terms of learning and technical expertise. So you see, for myself and my teammates that are here, we've gone through the Solidity Bootcamp, we've gone through the Cartesi Masterclass, we've gone through a ZK Bootcamp. So it's sort of like just keeps grounding you in the knowledge of Web3 and the growth of it. So I think it has really helped us in to see right now. We've not seen more products yet, but we've seen more community, more learning, more people getting interested and getting opportunities. So new platforms are coming up, spread across the continent, and for us in Nigeria, spread across Nigeria, several locations. So like that, and that has been really helpful, and it has helped the growth of Web3.
This is awesome, guys. This was such a cool introduction. Now that everyone knows a little bit about you, a little bit about the context where you're working with, I just want to do a very small call to action here for everyone who's watching to send questions in the chat, because we're going to have a Q&A answer session in the end. And the best questions will, as always, get a teeny tiny prize. So, which is actually not tiny at all. It's a very cool swag kit packed with Cartesi goodies. And so throw these questions in, and let's go back to the questions and the context of the podcast right here. So I just wanted to do this Q&A before we pivoted, because now we're going to talk a little bit more about your knowledge as a whole and the products and everything that you've been building. So, and we are already entering the Africa context, right? I really wanted to know from you guys, why do you think that Africa is thriving in Web3?
Okay, I think I'll just jump on this quickly. So there are quite a lot of reasons why Africa is thriving in Web3. But sort of, even from our own conversations, we see something like, Africa, it's sort of like Web3 was made for Africa. Because due to the uniqueness of the challenges that we have on the continent, it's thriving as a solution to those challenges. So we have issues of financial inclusion. We have a lot of people that are currently unbanked, and we have a lot of young people. Africa is the youngest continent on the planet. So we have a lot of young people that currently don't have access to sophisticated banking and all of that. So the infrastructure, the solutions that we're seeing in Web3 is coming in to sort of like bridge that gap, particularly with the growth of internet access and mobile access to rural communities across Africa, and with the young people. So young people are a little bit more tech savvy than the older people. So you see more young people getting into Web3 or getting interested in Web3. And I think one of the biggest use cases that we've seen Web3 do for us in Africa that has helped its growth is remittances. A lot of Africans that live abroad or don't live on the continent have had difficulties or challenges with making remittances home to families, to support communities, and all that. But we've seen the growth of like Web3 has breached that gap where you could just easily just come up, get a wallet address, and you sent a transaction from the US to Nigeria in just a matter of seconds or a matter of minutes. And also, I think Web3, the decentralized nature of Web3, even in the decentralization of opportunities, decentralization of the skill, has helped also in how Web3 has grown on the continent. Because we are seated here, a lot of times it's like new opportunities. Previously people have been living in Web2. The Web2 space is getting clouded, and Africa sort of like came in late in the Web2 space. So we came into the space. A lot of the big jobs that you see in Web2 are taken by mostly Europeans. You see Asians in the job, but here with Africa and Web3, like we are growing together with it. So there's you find some of the best and the finest engineers around the world. You find them coming out from Africa. So I think that opportunity for innovation, entrepreneurship has also helped Africa to sort of like step up in terms of Web3 and for Web3 to grow on the continent. And I think it just sort of like just speaks to the fact that this is just the beginning and there's a lot to come in the future. And I believe like I would always advocate, hey, come to Africa, try out Africa. 5 years down the line, 10 years from now, we are going to be the boiling plate of Web3. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Do you think that, how promising do you think it's Nigeria specifically related to other countries in Africa and the Web3 context in there?
Okay, I think being Africa's most populous country, like you look at Africa's most populous country, one of Africa's biggest economies. So that tells you there's the population, and even when it comes down to Nigeria, is specific. Over 60 to 70% of Nigerians are also young people. So it fits into the African demographic also. And most of these young people are going into getting jobs. So most of them are going to be economically stable, like support the growth of Web3. So the biggest prospect, even for Africa, comes down to Nigeria. And a lot of times, yeah, it's not a bias because we are Nigerians, but a lot of the progress that you see in the Web3 space across the African continent, one way or the other, in one of those teams, you'd find 2 or 3 Nigerians there. So and then even for the growth of the knowledge in Nigeria, you see a lot of it is bubbling all across the country. It's not like it's not just in Lagos or it's not just in Abuja. You find it in places like Jos. You go to places like Kaduna. You go to places like Akwa Ibom. Those are all places within Nigeria. So it's sort of like the whole country is coming together to sort of kick it up and pick it. And I think one of the biggest things that you can see, even in indices, is I think according to chain analysis, Nigeria ranks the highest in terms of USDT and USDC holdings globally, competing with the US. Yeah, so in terms of transaction volume, Nigeria also poses that on chain. So we see a lot of prospects, even though there are 1 or 2 challenges on the side of policy and government. But well, there's hope, and like it's sort of like a brighter future in front of us.
That's interesting. So, something that you mentioned that I really want to highlight is that there is a huge part of the population that is quite young in Nigeria, right? So they're still
Yep.
developing and getting to know all these resources and getting to learn about Web3. As well, the guys in DevAd here in Cartesi, they call me the professor. That's the nickname. I'm kind of very curious to ask, what is your preferred educational resource in terms of learning about Web3, in terms of spreading this knowledge to the young people and getting them on board with all of this? So would it be hackathons, master classes, virtual environments, bounty hunting? I mean, there's so many. Is there
Yeah.
anything that you specifically think that works the best?
Okay. So I'd like to answer this question. And for me, basically, probably because of the way I got into Web3 space, I prefer the hands-on experience. I'm the hands-on guy. I like doing things, like I like practicalizing. I like trying things out, right? So for me in the Web3 space, I believe that the best way to actually learn, the best way to pick up Web3 and to grow in Web3 is to actually try these things physically. So I actually prefer the classes. I prefer physical classes. Like the master class we held in Cartesi, we held in Web3 Bridge for Cartesi in January was really helpful for us. So we had questions that we were throwing back and forth, right? So it really helped us to grab Cartesi a lot. So it was a new technology, yes, but it gave us a way to, like, okay, digest whatever you guys say, give feedback, ask questions, right? And it helped to broaden our knowledge about what Cartesi is all about and even the new technology that was being brought to us at that point in time. So personally, I prefer physical classes. I prefer master classes, physical classes generally, and then hackathons for me to try out whatever I've learned. So I believe hackathons has a way of like putting you on kind of like steroids, whereby you just build. You have few days to build, you just build. I think it was Shaheen or Jad that was talking about hackathons then, that within a week you can build anything basically. When they were trying to motivate us to build on Cartesi, it was new to us, right? And we had a week to build, we had 2 weeks to build, come up with ideas and build. And they told us that it's possible. They showed us what they built, right? And that motivated us to do the same because, yes, we've learned, we've heard from them. They were there on site to answer questions, to give us resources, to give us feedbacks, to give us pointers on how to build and to help us build the project. But then I believe that for me, master classes and hackathons do a long way. They go a long way for me basically to learn, to build. And I can even put this, I can also add this as well, that in the Web3 space, in just this year alone, I've built more than I've built in Web2 in the past 2 years, just because of hackathons and classes. So it gives me that ability to build. It gives developers the ability to try things out, right? You have different technologies coming in, you hear about them, and then hackathons give you that motivation to do these things. And then we come out with great products from time to time. So I believe that those are the two ways. I really feel those are the two ways that you can learn about Web3, like, quickly and fast.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I mean, this was an experiment for us doing this masterclass, a really long masterclass, and see like what the results
Yeah,
are for this masterclass. And yeah, I mean, there's time for you to absorb things at your own pace, and getting your hands dirty is like very critical. Like it's a very good philosophy to sort of build and then learn while building,
yeah,
and rather
yeah,
than spending a lot of time in learning stuff and then building something. So uh,
exactly.
really good to hear that you guys sort of learned something from it, and it was sort of helped you in building your ideas. So
Definitely, definitely.
coming to this learning, you guys have you guys are building Peeps now. You have learned like these courses. You have been to many classes, and
Yeah.
recently you guys had opportunity to sort of be on the like professing side. We were just talking about the professor, and now you guys were on
Yeah,
giving workshops, teaching people how to build cool things. So wanted to
yeah,
quickly hear about that. How was that experience? It was in Accra, Ghana, if I'm not wrong. So just give
yeah.
a brief to our audience,
Okay.
like how was that experience from being a learner to a teacher?
Okay, so before I start, I would like to say shout outs to the Mo team for bringing us on board. They were able to mobilize over 90 developers from different parts of Africa and also in the world. There are people from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, again, Uganda, even China. and US. So it was really amazing because all of us were in the same compound for 2 weeks. So we built together, we shared ideas, we even had fun together. We went on tour. We really enjoyed ourselves there. And we had the opportunity, and we saw this as a great idea to represent Cartesi and also do like workshops to tell people a lot about Cartesi and also our project. So we really enjoyed ourselves because during the session we had the chance to tell our colleagues, our fellow developers, about what they can enjoy by coming into the Cartesi ecosystem. A lot of them were excited to hear about Cartesi because many of them had not known about it beforehand. So we enlightened them about Cartesi, also with Michael Acedo with us. He's with you guys as the dev team. So we're really excited to see him on that day. So we also were able to share our project too. So we got some feedbacks about our project. We got people giving us some ideas and some tips on what they expect from us when going into production and what we need to add or some exciting things that can spicing it up. So it was a great opportunity. We also want to thank Cartesi for giving us the platform to talk about our project and also for putting ourselves out there. So thank you very much. I appreciate you.
So glad to hear your experience on this teaching side, and also at the same time talking about your project, Peeps. So let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about Peeps now, and how Cartesi helped you in building this project. How was this journey? I mean, some of us already know about Peeps, but for those who don't know about Peeps, just give a brief intro what Peeps is doing, and how did you guys start this idea of this project in the masterclass itself. So talk a little bit about that.
All right, so let me talk about Peeps, and I'll give you an intro about how we came to how Peeps came to be, right? So at the master class, when we were ideating on what to build, I remember coming to you guys, also Shaheen and Joao, and we were iterating through different projects, and we brought the first one. I remember you guys said, "Nah, this won't work on Cartesi." Brought the second one, but eventually we settled with Peeps, right? And the reason why we settled with Peeps was because Peeps had so Cartesi provided what was needed to build Peeps, right? And what is Peeps? So let me now jump into what Peeps is actually. So Peeps is a decentralized social media platform. It's an innovative decentralized social media platform. It's not like the conventional social media platform that we're used to, right? Because it's a fusion of microblogging and DeFi. And the reason why we talk about this was because we needed these two things to be blended together in a seamless way, in a very seamless manner. And then we thought about, when we discussed this idea with you guys gave us feedbacks, you gave us ways to make it better, and how we can build this on Cartesi. And so we began building. But basically, the idea about Peeps is that Peeps is a decentralized social media platform, right, that integrates microblogging and DeFi. And it does that in a way that it actually makes it creates a creator economy. How does it do that? So Peeps allows you to implement tipping features. So like the conventional social media applications that we have, like Twitter and other microblogging applications, whereby you're able to post, you're able to create microblogs, right? But then there's no DeFi solution to these things. There's no way to actually incentivize your creator. There's no way to incentivize your users. Now, Peeps makes those things seamless, such that from anywhere, from the platform itself to any user, not just to creators, not just to people that are subscribed, not just people that have premium subscriptions. You can actually incentivize people that you like what they do on the platform and where the value they share on the platform. So Peeps gives you that leverage such that you can create your content, you can get rewarded for your content, right? And everything runs in a decentralized manner. So there's no centralized entity here. Everything runs in a decentralized manner. We're able to make this happen. Things that happened in a very different way before in Web2 system, in a Web2 space whereby everything is centralized and this, but we're able to bring this into a decentralized form using Cartesi. And that was one of the best things that we built so far this year. So Cartesi was really helpful building Peeps. So that is what Peeps is all about.
Yeah, I think The one thing I would ask next is why is it so important to have a decentralized social media platform? But I think that it kind of covers it, right? Or do you think
Kind of,
there's something
yeah,
else to add to that?
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
But I
Yeah.
think maybe to just on why you a lot of people, I think it's a question that we get a lot from people asking us, why do we need a decentralized social media platform?
Yeah,
And sometimes people just always keep telling you, oh, but Twitter already works, so why do we need something that looks like it? Or Wildcats already is there, why do we need something? So I think for us, how we saw it is a decentralized social media platform sort of helps with reducing censorship, enhancing security, reducing downtime, bringing in more innovation to social experience. For example, like how we have on Peeps, I think for us, our biggest focus on Peeps is everybody that is on Peeps is a creator. So we see
yeah,
when you come on Peeps, you create an account, we see you as a creator of value. So you don't just go and even if you make a comment, someone likes your comment. Sometimes you go on social media, you read a wonderful comment. All you can just is just like the comment. But we're like, oh, with Web3 and the applications of DeFi. So those are innovations that can come into social media applications that previously we don't see happen. So and then you probably wouldn't get a downtime when dealing with a decentralized social media platform. So if you're running, for example, on a fully decentralized network like Ethereum mainnet, you're very sure that mainnet is probably never going down. So you are
definitely.
almost certain that the platform itself might never go down in terms of facilitating all the interactions and the transactions that you want to do on such a platform. So there's so many advantages to why a decentralized social media platform is needed. But I think a lot of people are asking this question maybe because okay, they've never seen it and they can't imagine what it will look like. So they're yet to
Yeah,
be unsure of how exactly it should be. But we feel like people get to when Peeps get to go live and it's market ready, when people get to use Peeps, they're going to be like, oh, okay, we didn't know that we could do this, but we like the
yeah,
fact that we
exactly.
can do it now.
Yeah, it's very different from what people seen before. So it's even hard to understand. Talking about what's different, like Cartesi itself is very different from lots of things in Web3 going on.
Yeah.
And what advantages specifically there is to build this on Cartesi? What does it bring to the table in terms of, I mean, technology, utility?
Yeah, so let me come in there. So one of the common things about social media platforms, I'll say for me, is the algorithms that are being run on the back end, even for traditional Web2 microblogging applications, and also for some Web3 applications. I'll say it's the algorithms that are being run because there are a lot of high computations that are run on the back end, and those things are
Yeah,
highly expensive. And so that's why we need a layer 2 scaling solution like Cartesi. And why we chose Cartesi is because of with Cartesi we're able to run our algorithm computation off chain, which can bring about lower gas fees and transaction fees. Unlike having to do that on the base layer, it's going to cost a lot, like tremendous amount of fees, which is actually very expensive to do. And so that's why we had to leverage Cartesi's capabilities. And also, thanks to the Cartesi team for creating a tool called Cartesi Wallet, which allows our users to have in-app wallet. It was actually very easy. It's just like plugging it into your DApp, and then all you have to do is just for like a user, because for a user, so for like Webcast and Lens and all those other platforms, they don't really have in-app wallets. So what they do is pay you pay somebody, but it directs you to another application, maybe like Coinbase or thereabout. But with Cartesi Wallet, all you just need to do is fund your account. And then if you want to tip somebody, maybe like a content creator or someone that you like his work or whatever it does, all you need to do is tip that person directly, and that person can actually withdraw from his own wallet. So when you come to application, you have your own wallet. So it just works seamlessly and so easy. Cartesi
yeah,
gives us that, unlike other applications. So for me, I'll say if I was given another chance to build it again, I'll still go with Cartesi.
Oh, this is so
Nice.
cool to hear, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. This is, it's just nice to see that the things we build are being actually appreciated, you know.
Definitely.
Now,
Yeah.
we've been talking about Peeps. I would really like to know if you guys want to give us a demo of it working.
Okay.
Yeah, it should.
It's my favorite
Josh,
time.
maybe
Who's the brave one amongst you who's gonna give us the demo?
Josh, would you like to
Josh
give
is
the demo?
going. Codis J is going to give the demo.
Yeah, it's going to give the demo.
Sorry, I don't know if
It's
I
not
can
about bravery. I want to say it's
bring it
about.
up like
It's about.
within. Sorry, I don't know if I can bring it up like within the conversation. I actually didn't set it up, so I'll just be doing that while the next question goes. Sorry.
Okay,
All right.
no problem. Um,
So coming to the question, the philosophy of these decentralized social media networks. There are there have been social media networks all over in Web 2 and in Web 3 also. Peeps is obviously one example on the Cartesi technology, but you might have seen there are other platforms out there as well. Farcaster is getting quite popular these days. There has been Lens, which is kind of doing the similar sort of social graphs thing where you could take in all your data that is related to your profile, and sort of like it's a portable data, you own that data. So where do you see Peeps being different from these counterparts on Web3? You already talked about Web3, but when we come to Web3, where do you see Peeps stand out? Any one of you who wants to dig in?
Okay. I think I'll just jump in here and say for us as Peeps, I think as Konis J mentioned earlier, just in this conversation, one of the biggest differences that we notice with likes of Farcaster and Lens is which is the advantage that Cartesi gives us is the in-app wallet. Because if you're on Farcaster and you have to go to someone's profile, the same way you find it on X, formerly Twitter, you have to go to someone's profile. If you subscribe, then you make payments. But on Farcaster, when you try to do that, you have to connect to Coinbase. Like it takes you out of the app, takes you to Coinbase, connects to your Coinbase account before you sort of like do your token transfers or send someone a token. But we have that integrated in Peeps. And one of the things that we see in Peeps is currently what we've even built with Peeps is the MVP version of Peeps. We have a lot of ideas of things that we can incorporate into Peeps that makes Peeps stand out outside of the current existing. We're not just looking at a social media or a microblogging platform. We're looking at a microblogging platform that can imbue the high computational ability of Cartesi. So give us things like we have ideas around gaming that we're trying to experiment with social media. So gaming is social media. So instead of having like game chat rooms, you have games that integrate with the social media platform. So those are fascinating ideas that we are experimenting in the closet. So we see Peeps in the future as defining its own identity, a bit different from what Farcaster, what Webcast and the Lens protocol currently are. So at the current stage, a lot of it is a bit similar to the current existing microblogging platforms that you have. But the biggest difference that we have is the fact that we facilitate everything in app and we facilitate a more bigger creator economy within Peeps. So that's the biggest difference at the moment. But in future growth, we have other plans that kinds of keep on distinguishing Peeps from these other existing social media applications, both Web 2 and Web 3.
Nice. It's also like the way I see it. It also falls in line with the philosophy of application specific chains. Like you have your own little universe of Peeps where people can
Exactly.
give tips here and there, and they can all these functions that you have inside Cartesi, the algorithms that are running, they are also within this universe of Peeps. That's really good to see this, and this sort of a distinction truly makes Peeps stand out. So, talking about like the future, like you just briefly mentioned in one line, what other features maybe if you'd like to mention, or how do you see the future of Peeps growing? Anything you guys want to immediately add, or maybe in the long term, where do you see this going?
Okay, just to add on to that, yeah, one thing, like for now, beyond where we are, what we have is as I mentioned, the MVP. So the smallest possible version of our idea is currently what we have out there. Or and for us, even that's a huge achievement considering that we started building this sometimes around February. So like core building, February, March. So this is almost like just 5 months in, and we have something that sort of like can work, that we can see, we can show people, hey, this works, this is the idea, this is it in reality. But going further, I think our immediate target is to see how we can make it a little bit more modular and scalable. Right now, we know that at its current iteration, Peeps is not yet ready for let's say 100,000 users. A lot is still in development. So we want to make it as modular as possible. So we have in the roadmap things like a mobile application. So right now it's just a web app that you'd use on your laptop, but social media people don't walk around with their laptops for a social media platform. Yeah, so I think our immediate next target will see how we could get to have a mobile application for Peeps that people can get to use on their mobile phones. That now brings it much closer to the final end user of such a platform. Even though, yeah, our current web app is responsive across both the mobile device, the laptops, the tablet is responsive, but it's still just a web app. A web app is not yet a social media platform, exactly. So I think for us, to make it more, before we take it to the market, before we begin to have users on a large scale, is to get a mobile version that we can tell people, you just go to Play Store or go to your App Store and get this and try it out. So I think that's like immediate next step in the development of Peeps.
Peeps, yeah.
Yeah, I think the keyword when you said that Peeps is not ready yet, it's the yet part, because it will be, right?
Definitely, yeah, we're working towards that. Definitely.
Great, and I think the mobile strategy is like is so critical for social media networks. Like if you want to have 1 million Peeps using Peeps, that's where
you. Yeah. Nice one, Shaheen. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the usage of the word Peeps in there. So many word plays games we can do with it.
Peeps, repeeping, and then stuff like
Man,
with your Peeps.
I love the idea. I don't know whom of you guys came up with it. The repeat thing. I love that thing the most.
Just for context for everyone, the equivalent to repost or retweet on Peeps, it's repeat, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yes.
Those are the tiny details that make us feel more engaged with the platform, I guess. And anything specifically, be it a minor detail like this or something huge that you did that makes you really proud of the project?
Okay, so I think one of the things we did that was quite challenging for us was when we wanted to make it responsive, like work on mobile. So one thing about Peeps right now is you can use it on mobile, right? And it works on your devices, your mobile device, even though it's not a mobile app yet. We made it such that it's close to being a mobile app. In terms of user experience, right? You can just take Peeps right now, start with your phone. You can log in using a smart account, log in using Google or Facebook or Apple, right? We made it so easy such that there's no much difference from using a conventional Web2 application. So signing up is quite easy. You can do that in less than 30 seconds, like to create an account on Peeps. So it was not a big challenge doing that because even though yes, it was easy to do with wallets on desktop, on mobile it was challenging because you don't want that same experience of redirecting to a wallet, then coming back to the app. So we wanted to make that as smart as possible. We wanted to make that user experience so easy for users and so seamless for users. So that was one of the most challenging parts. So we needed to do a bit of rewrite. I'll be a bit technical in this part. So we needed to like reconfigure a lot of things to make sure that we use the SDK we used eventually to make it work. So we converted everything to making sure that for mobile, it makes use of smart accounts, smart wallets. So we don't do the conventional popping up of wallets that we are used in the Web3 space. So for us, we were so heavy on the user experience because this is a social media application. It is one of the first things people look up to in a social media application, that the experience must be great, right? So it was one of the things that was challenging for us, but it's one of the things we are most proud of. Now, if you pick up your phone now and go to Peeps right now, you can test Peeps, you can create posts, you can like, you can do virtually everything on Peeps, right? And it works. And even running Cartesi recommendation algorithms, everything works. Like it makes it so easy to work with, to start with. And like Mitong was saying the other time, when you talk about mobile apps, right, people tend to engage more with mobile apps than web apps. So we're trying to make it such that even though we don't have a mobile app yet, you can pick up Peeps, not just from your desktop, but whether for your tablets, your mobile devices, any mobile devices, and use it. So it was one of the things we did to like make sure that Peeps was so usable, like we not even tell the difference between the Web2 application and the Web3 application. So the user experience was heavy for us, and we dwell more on doing that, and then we got it to work. And that was one of the things we are most proud of. Like the seamless experience, the user experience is very heavy, very great, and we like that a lot.
This is always
I
one of
think
the
something that maybe to just add, Joao, before you step in, I think the proudest moment for us was when we even I think almost built throughout the whole building phase. For every while we're building, for every milestone that we got to, it was a moment of like pride because this is like we just had an idea and see our idea coming to life. I think that's the proudest thing for us. To see that okay, this challenging. It might be difficult at times. Sometimes we try to get some things to work, and they don't seem to just work the way like
Yeah,
we feel it's supposed to work. But to see that we have this sort of gives us a like it just makes us feel happy, feel proud of the fact that oh yeah, this can work.
yeah.
This is what we're thinking. This is it in reality stuff. We just created something and it just goes. So yeah, I think for us that's the proudest moment of building Peeps, or that's the proudest thing about building Peeps.
Mhm.
That's cool, man. I think I think you guys achieved a lot. Like not only from the master class, you got like I think it was the first prize, right? And
Yeah,
then also in our online hackathon afterwards, you also participated. You did something.
yeah. We did the global hackathon. Yes, global hackathon.
It's just it feels like you are very integrated to our ecosystem now, I guess.
Yeah, actually, yeah. We've done a lot
Yes.
around Cartesi, so yeah, it's more like it's more like second nature. So when we think of building anything, I remember when we were building also at New Accra, we're trying to build a app, and the first thing that came to mind was, okay, how can we use Cartesi for this? So I think it's becoming we are getting used to building on Cartesi these days, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. So yeah, definitely, like we are getting used to it. Yeah, the ecosystem and all.
So Cartesi Masterclass was like a life-altering moment, and from there, you guys like exponentially
Yeah,
so many things happening,
exactly.
teaching
Exactly.
people,
Yeah.
building applications, deploying them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. It was wonderful, really. That's wonderful since then.
Yeah.
Very much.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Uh,
now
Okay.
we talked a lot about Peeps, so let's see it live. Let's see the
Okay.
demo.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Yeah. I'm just going to play the video for a minute, like a brief introduction to what Peeps is.
Um, is this working, guys? Like, or is this paused for you?
I think it's paused.
Yeah, maybe just give a voiceover over it. How
Okay.
things are
Can you
going,
hear me?
and
You
then
can hear the screen?
We can't hear the
yeah,
screen.
No, you can't.
Oh, you can
now
hear?
this.
No.
Oh, it's currently speaking. I don't know how the audio works here. So
Um, Josh, just give a voice over, just play the video, and then just explain as it goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that will
okay.
work.
But you can see my screen.
Yeah, definitely we can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Now we
Yeah.
can.
Okay. So this is the talk of today, the Peeps social media platform. So on our app, the video was actually playing and talking from my end, but yeah, some technical issues. So on our platform, we have some features like every other micro blogging site. So on the top right, you can actually sign up. The top right, you can actually sign up. You can see that, and then we have varieties of sign up options. We have social logins, we have MetaMask, Brave Wallet, and Coinbase Wallet. Like Mayowa said, the social login, we're able to implement smart wallets where you can actually go ahead with gasless transaction. But I will go ahead to the part where it's shown. So here, in this part of the video is where I'm creating a profile. So you can put in the image of your profile picture, and then you can just put in a display name, a username, and something about yourself. So it's actually very seamless. You can see the profile has been created, and then you can see at the left-hand side, you can see that this was the profile that I just created on the demo video. And then the next thing that's going to happen now is me creating a post. So you can see everything works seamless. This is my profile. I haven't followed anybody else. So you can actually edit your profile and choose a new display name or something about you. Yeah, so I changed my name from dollar coin to dollar meme, and then I changed my bio. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can see at the left hand side is changed from dollar coin to dollar meme, but my name is still the same. The next thing for me now is to create a profile. So I'm just going to write something, say, welcome to Peeps Social with maybe the same image just because of time. So you'll see that the post has been created. Welcome to Peeps. You can comment on that this post. Let's say just say something about it, you know, then you'll see it. Because of the recommendation algorithm, the MetaMask is going to pop up because we're interacting with the base layer, so we're going to have wallet interaction. So yeah, the next thing, yeah. So the next thing in the video was to like and also read. So I think let me go to the wallet section. Let me go to, you can see my profile. It shows what I created. It shows the post I created, which says welcome me to Peeps. Then it shows the likes and the comments, which I did in the video. So this is the wallet. It's a beautiful UI. We're still working on it. So currently, there's no balance for this user. He hasn't spent or received any money from this in-app wallet. So you can deposit, transfer, withdraw, and then you can also tip a content creator. But doing that, you do that from the feeds where the posts are listed. So you can tip somebody directly. You don't have to come here. What you just do here is fund your account by pressing the deposit button, and then you can transfer to somebody here if you just want to do it here, and also you can withdraw after a transaction. So I think I was able to fund the wallet. So I just deposited some amount of tokens. You can see the wallet transaction popping out. Everything was actually very seamless. I just deposited into the wallet, then signed, approved the smart contract with the number of tokens that I want to deposit, because we're using Peeps token actually. So you guys should look out for Peeps token in production when we go live. So you need to use Peeps token to um, tip your favorite content creator, even tip anybody that you actually love, and that's what we use for interaction on our platform. And then you can transfer and then you can withdraw. So when you withdraw, we have what we call vouchers. That we have it where we explain everything, like a beginner guide or someone that just coming into our platform for the first time. So yeah, thank you very much. This is just the overview of it. I think the link will be posted for everybody to go through our site. So I'm just going to stop sharing now. Thank you very much.
Dude, this is amazing. I really love the solution. You guys are not only kick-ass developers but also designers.
Yeah,
It
nice.
looks good. It looks smooth. The
We, we
user
actually we actually did everything together. We did everything
Yeah.
together. We're a small group, so we did the front end together. We did the back end together. Like every single thing was together. So if you are looking for who did
Yeah,
the front, both of us, who did the back end, both of us. We even read through
there were a
the
lot.
Cartesi documentations together.
Yeah, there were
Oh,
a lot of
guys.
iterations really. Lot of
Yeah.
iterations in UI, a lot of iterations in user experience. We try this out, we test it. Now we don't like this much. Then we go back to fix it. This shouldn't be like this. It's not fast enough. It's not user friendly. Then we go back, we iterate. Then we come back and say, let's test now. Does it make sense? Yeah, we give to other people to try it out, and they're like, this is not fine. Then we go back to fix it. So there's been a lot of like different iterations, but it's been fun working on it really because keep building, and it's now leading to becoming a product, right? And because you've seen challenges building the product, you understand the challenges, you understand what can be better, what can be done in a better way, you understand what needs to be implemented even though you've not done it, or it's part of so you have it in line, you have it like a milestone that you have ready to be fixed. You have it more like, okay, this is what we are ready to do, this is what we plan to do. So we have all of these things in check. We have it, some of those things are not even in check yet. We have them in plan to implement. And so overall, Pips has been very interesting, really. Like there's been a lot of iterations between the team members. There are times we just try, okay, you try this one now, try this one now. Which one is best? Let's pick the best user experience, the best UI, the best colors, themes, design, and so overall, Pips has been very, very like very amazing. Building Pips has been wonderful, definitely wonderful. I have to say.
Yeah.
And with my amazing team
Amazing.
members, they've made it so beautiful building Pips. So they don't make it like so it's not really a burden building Pips. It's more like it's fun, right? Because you're building with guys that you are used to. Then you guys will argue and say, no, we don't want this. Let's do this way. Then you come back tomorrow and say, oh, but this is quite better. Then no, well, overall, it has been wonderful. Really, building Pips. It's fun building. Yeah, it is. It is.
It has to be fun, man. I mean, if you're building a social media platform, you have to include all those
Yeah,
things, the UX
definitely.
part of it,
Yes.
the
Yeah,
fun elements here and
that's
there.
that's
Then
yeah,
then it kind of makes sense. Oh man,
yeah.
you guys have already come a long way. Like uh, we the day in masterclass when you were discussing this idea. But what should we put in,
Yeah,
like all
yeah,
this
definitely.
brainstorming around it from
Mhm.
that very raw idea to coming here. This must have been very satisfying for you guys. Like now seeing
Yeah,
Peeps the way it is, I can
yes,
only imagine this. So,
that's
guys, let's move to the last segment of this podcast now, like concluding
mhm.
to some of your thoughts on. You guys have now good experience in like building things, trying out different protocols and products. So some tips or some sort of like comments you want to give to all the protocols out there, L1s, L2s, whatever. Any general comments which kind of makes developer experience better, or sort of coming from you as a developer, what you want to see these protocols doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I would answer that. So if I had one thing to tell a lot of Web3 protocols is I'll say that they should focus on usability and also for good documentation, because people like us, I think one of the reasons why we're able to build Cartesi seamlessly
Mhm.
was because of the documentation was actually very good.
Yeah,
There were a lot of
yeah,
sources,
definitely.
there were a lot of
Yes.
contributions on GitHub. And if you are actively coming to the community to the Cartesi website, you see that they're updating their docs. I think
Yes,
recently they
yes.
just updated the master class. I actually went through the master class on Udemy. I think they just updated it again. So we
Mhm.
went through all their resources. So I think if every protocol, focuses on, building something and then having clear documentation of how developers can build faster or, relate well, because not everyone wants to reach out. Some people could just get discouraged by looking at documentation. Could just be like, nah, too much headache. Let me leave. So, when you have that patience and you're saying, okay, I think they're going somewhere, documentation is nice, and people are actually building tools that can make it better. Like I said, for the Cartesi wallet, imagine having to build that from scratch. You need to go in depth and understand how Cartesi works, but you have someone that is
Yeah.
just like, let me just help you start up your web app, just plug it in. You understand me? So good documentation, usability, and also I think I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah, so I'd like to touch on what Konisji said, right? So for Katesi, I think documentation is one of the key points as to where they've done so well. So I remember there was a Twitter space we had in, I think that was March or April, thereabouts. I can't really place when. But I remember I was giving a feedback the other day and I said that it would be nice if Katesi has snippet of code in their documentation, right? That you can just copy and paste and try it out. And then a few weeks later, I remember that being implemented. So it was really nice to see that, yeah, the feedbacks that Cartesi got from users was quickly implemented. So it meant that they were really ready for the community, right? We were ready for people that were ready to build on Cartesi. And the documentation, like Josh said, is just one of the best documentations you can find out there. There are examples that you can try out. It keeps getting updated. Any library that is created, like the Cartesi wallet that Josh has been mentioning, trust me, the wallet has really helped us a lot. I remember we used it for the global hackathon as well when we worked on the game, this F4 simulation. We used the Cartesi wallet and it has really helped. And there are a lot of examples you can find even on the Cartesi documentation without needing to go to an external documentation. So everything you need is just there for you, right? So it makes it welcoming to beginners. It makes it welcoming to you as a new developer. You just go there, you get whatever you want, and then you just plug it and it works. So I feel like that's one of the best things Cartesi has done. And I feel like if everybody can make that possible, because there are times you go to documentations for most protocols and you can't even get an example to work. It's a problem, right? Because you don't really understand what to do. They need to tell you this is how to start. And Cartesi has done a good job in telling us how to start. Aside from the masterclass that was very helpful to us, documentation was a very big help also along the build process. So I think that's one of the things. That's one of the things protocols need to look out for. Like the developers that you are trying to onboard, what resources are you providing for them to get onboarded? Cartesi has provided good resources for us to get onboarded, and I feel like that's a very good point for Cartesi, like very good one. And if I'm going to add one more thing, I'm going to add the ability to have SDKs that lead to better user experience. Right? I think those are so. And Cartesi also provided that because we keep mentioning the tools that Cartesi has provided to make building easy, and all these things you just realize that okay, these are very easy. I remember moving from Sunodo to Cartesi CLI also. It was so seamless. You didn't need to do anything. Like it was super seamless, right? And those are key selling points that you could tell people that oh, if you come here, we are very sure that we can promise you that the adapt you did yesterday, migrating to a newer version can't give you headaches, can't give you issues, right? So in terms of developer experience, Cartesi has done like the Cartesi is there, like very up there. So it makes all these things easy. User experience wise, you have what a UI you need, you have documentation, you can onboard people. Developer experience wise, it is very, very good. Like it is top notch. And I think that's one of the things we like to see more protocols do. Like these things needs to be available for developers, needs to be available for users. And Cartesi has done a good job doing this. Like very good job doing this. Excellent job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think to
that
just
from
add on to what the guys have already mentioned, I think the final word to all the protocols out there is let's move more from like for people that are building on the application layer, let it be much more
me.
simpler and much more easier. And then
Yeah.
for even to help out with on the user experience part of it, for many people, signing wallets or dealing with wallets is a big challenge. I know with account abstraction native to Web3, a lot of protocols are picking in smart wallets and all of that.
Yeah,
It's making it
that's
much easier, but we need to still do a lot more of abstraction. And
yeah.
I think one of the reasons why we keep pushing or we keep hyping up Cartesi is because we worked with it. We found it easy to work with. But for some other protocols, aside going to go and have to learn a new programming language, learn how to work with new tools, those are seriously challenging. I know that almost everybody wants to be different. Well, I don't think we need new programming languages for almost all the protocols that are out there.
Right?
I mean, it's getting too, yeah, it's getting too
Yeah,
much
yeah, you're right,
for
you're right, you're right.
you want to build on the protocol. The first thing you go to their documentation, you just hear a new language pop up, and you're like, oh god, where do I start from? How do I get about it? So
How many years of
I think
development?
that's so with Cartesi, it helps us to just know that you just need to know your CLI and you need whatever
Yeah,
existing language that you already know, you can build and sort of just connect to Cartesi. You just need to understand how the architecture works. So I think we want to see more of similar to what Cartesi already has. For other protocols, even the base layers that we're deploying on, it keeps getting easy. We know we are moving, most protocols are moving from the back end, or as we say, from the back end to the front end to make it more front end user friendly. So I think we need to see more of such interactions. And also, one thing that, as much as Koniji mentioned, he's not the type of person to want to go and keep asking you questions about it. He just, if your documentation is up to standard, he just wants to read it.
just
And
yes,
within
yes.
our own team, Joao, you see, they call it the professor. We call him our own professor because he's the one to do most of the. Even though I'm the lawyer, but he's the one to do most of the reading. A lot of the times, he
Yeah, most of
prefers
the
that.
reading. Yes.
But for some of us, we prefer to say, okay, hey, Cartesi has a very supportive community. You go on the Discord, you find that. For most protocols, they are trying to do that also. And I think we want to see more of that. For some protocols, you are trying to build something. You can come on the Discord, drop a question before you get a reply to like 3 weeks later, or sometimes in a month,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that can be
yeah.
very discouraging. It breaks your morale. If for example, you're even in a hackathon or something. So that support also, we want to see more protocols do more of support. And I think for Cartesi has focused a bit on Africa and helping bring up developers in Africa and doing programs across the continent. We want to see more protocols come into with an African plan. So yeah, come into Africa, have a plan for how we can build together as Africans or as technical people from this side of the world. So I think that'll be my own contribution to the message that my
Yeah,
teammates have put out
and
to protocols.
I'd like to add one more thing, right? So I'd like to add one more thing that Cartesi has done so well. So aside from the onboarding users and user experience and the developer experience, I feel like this kind of platform whereby you bring builders to talk about what they've built on Cartesi, it's a wonderful one, right? Because now think about this. We started Cartesi, we got to know about Cartesi in January, and now we are on a podcast talking about what we've built since January. This is July, right? So it's an avenue to even encourage more people to build on Cartesi. Like you get to showcase what you've built. There are not many platforms out there to showcase what you've built. So Cartesi bringing this avenue, like bringing us on board, getting us to talk about what we build live to the community. It's not something you find everywhere, right? So Cartesi has done a good job in this. It's they are going in the right direction. I just have to say that, like everything they do, I just love how they do it. I love how they implement their features. I love how they bring their developers, their DevAd team to just like interact, get you going, building in the ecosystem. I love how their DevAd teams are building tools for you to make it easy for developers to use. Like people like JJ, like even on so now currently building a tool for account abstraction that we are trying to also implement in Peeps, because that's like the next thing we are trying to do now to make sure that you don't even pay for gas anymore. Because talking to him, I think that was like 2 weeks ago, talking to him about, oh, he built something that was going to work for, making it gasless transactions. And I spoke to him that, oh, yes, we would like to add this to Pips. And I was like, yeah, that's a cool idea, but they are still working on certain things. Once they are done, they'll get back to me. Like that's the kind of flow we want to see, right? Build, I tell you, oh, I want to add this to your project, and this is cool. And it was like, okay, yeah, you can do that. And that is how it should be, right? That is how you can build good products on any protocol. And I feel like Cartesi is doing a good job doing this, like very good job doing this. I don't think I can stress that more than I've done so far. But kudos to Cartesi. Very good job, really.
I think I'm so glad. I don't even have words to express how good it is to receive such feedback.
I really hope other protocols out there are taking notes, because this last 10 minutes has been like really so many thoughtful like actions to do.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna do something. I'm kind of stunned, so I don't think I can think so much about more questions after this amazing feedback. What we're gonna do is actually go to the community questions. So let's delegate this to the community. So the first one is from sorry, man, I really don't know exactly how to spell your name. Abdurrahman. This question was sent on Yun only. Have you used ThirdWeb for the wallet SDK?
Yeah. So we used ThirdWeb for the wallet SDK, right? So yeah, ThirdWeb was what we used for the wallet SDK. So there was a bit of configuration we had to do. Yes, like I mentioned, like we had to configure a lot of things. But yes, we used ThirdWeb for the wallet SDK, for the smart accounts, for the wallet connections, everything ThirdWeb.
Is it good experience? How was it?
Yeah, it's wonderful, right? So the experience using ThirdWeb is wonderful on Peeps. So it helped to like reduce a lot of code. As long as you can get it to work with your app, it makes it easy to just like integrate, connect wallets, social connections, like using Google to sign up, or Discord, or Apple, or Facebook, right? Aside from using the conventional wallets you are used to, the traditional wallet. So it makes it easy, right? As long as you can just configure for your project, it just works. That's one of the things we used for.
Nice.
Okay. So I would say to Abdurrahman that I think ThirdWeb, let me just say one of the issues that we faced with ThirdWeb was the fact that on local hosts, I think they were having some RPC issues. So sometimes it can be working so well, but then sometimes it's not. So we even had like a lot of good experience when we deployed our DApp to Arbitrum Sepolia, but like using the Anvil chain, we're having a bit of, but like it was actually working fine. It was working fine.
Nice. Another one, which was sent
really
to Unlonely. It's a pretty long one, but saying it's a decentralized app, how would you say things like sensitive posts are handled? As in censored posts and all. Is there a body in charge of checking these out, or are these left for users to make decisions on? How are you able to give your users complete freedom whilst ensuring it's safe environment from everyone? This came from a user called XXX, I think.
Triple X. I think that's a wonderful question. It's something we've thought about, and on our own part, one of the things that we see in the roadmap for Peeps is setting up a DAO in the long run. When it comes to because if we want to set up a whole decentralized structure, we need to make it as decentralized as possible. So decentralized in governance, decentralized in the administration of the post, because we know for social media platforms, you have to be sort of like you have to be careful with sensitive posts and sensitive words, so that it doesn't come up with you don't promote hate on your platform. Your platform is not where people can just come and dunk on it. So we actually envision how to set up a Peeps DAO that sort of like runs governance and makes decisions and sets up censorship guidelines that are in tandem with current existing legislation on creating a safe environment and facilitating safe interactions online. So we consider that is in the roadmap, and that's a wonderful question and a good one to bring it up now.
Oh, awesome. We do have another good question in here. This one came from Marcos. I think you guys know him. He's from Cartesi.
Yeah.
What economic models are you exploring to incentivize user engagement and content creation on Peeps? Is there any tokenomics in place or planned?
Economics.
Yeah, I think for this, we have ideas around incentivizing user engagement. So the Peeps token at some point is going to, like how Josh mentioned, outside giving value to the Peeps token, we look at the Peeps token as not just a utility for the platform, but something that can also be used to reward some of the best people that draw traction to the platform. So outside people who enjoy the content, being responsible for sort of like incentivizing the users or the creators that they enjoy their works, or that they find value in the works that they post on Peeps. We also look at, okay, how can we disburse, or how all of these are key governance conversations that will come up much later. But for now, it just our general idea is around the token itself, disbursing sort of like over a timed period, the same way you have, and then you now start talking of like maybe reducing supply and to give more value to the tokens in the long run. But we've not thought about like the core aspects of incentivizing users for engagement and content creation. But in just our random idea and our random conversations, this is one way that we're thinking can work.
This is awesome. Guys, just one teeny tiny disclaimer behind the last question. The name of the guy was not Triple X. It was just the prediction set it there because we didn't have his name from only. But we are searching for him and trying to contact him, or them, sorry. And yeah, we're going to contact them because they will be the winners of the best question prize for this episode. So just to recap things a little bit, we talked about lots of things. We talked about your background in software development, how you came to get to know Web3, the contributions to Cartesi ecosystem, how was learning on Nigeria Masterclass. We got a demo of your DApp. We did have discussions regarding how it's implemented, which are your favorite functionalities, which are the ones hard to get, and what are future plans. And we even talked a little bit about advices you gave to other protocols and to us in terms of improve. This was everything so awesome. Thank you a lot for coming. And I would really like everyone who's watching to keep coming and asking questions. You enrich the podcast and the experience as a whole. And yeah, of course, for the devs who are watching, to check out our DevAd Seed Grants, do it like Peeps. You may get funding up to $5,000 per project and learn while you're doing it with mentorship. Or you can apply later for CGP funding and get up to $50,000, right? Join our Discord because we're fun. And yeah, this was iBuilder 4 a.m. Keep building and pioneering the world of Web3. Thank you so much for coming, guys. You were amazing guests. And this was
Thank you.
such a good talk.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I
Thank
actually
you
have
so
to
much.
wrap this up, but
Thank you for having us.
I think I could keep talking here with you guys for many,
Yeah.
many
Thank
hours.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Joe.
for joining,
Thank you,
guys.
Shaheen.
And thanks
Yeah.
to all the
Thank you,
audience.
Shaheen. Thank you, Joe.
It's always good
Yeah.
to see you all.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.